Hi all, Climbing the Pocket presents its newest show, Good Morning Gjallarhorn. Skål.
Hey everybody, this is David here, and welcome to the first ever episode of Good Morning Gjallarhorn. I'd like to introduce my sidekick and bass legend, Drew Bunting.
First time I ever heard that. I thought it was more like bass hacker. Hey Dave, how you doing?
I'm good, and yourself?
Doing great, getting a little thinner each day.
That's awesome. See, Drew's working to lose a few pounds, and he's melting away day by day, which is absolutely wonderful thing, and that probably most of us, yours truly included, need to do.
Got to get it done before football, because there's no dieting during football season.
That's right. And we're not building up for football weight anymore, so we need to do that.
We're at 99 days today.
I know. 99 days till the Vikings kick off. Outstanding.
Beautiful.
Now, first thing I wanted to talk about with you, Drew, today is the Anthony Barr contract situation.
Oh.
Obviously, he held out for OTA number 1, and he's back for OTA number 2 this week. The news was that he was just arranging to get an insurance policy all set up in case he got injured. Now, there's a little bit of questions towards this because he is paid for this 5th year, and that's guaranteed no matter what due to injury. So this is obviously, if he has something catastrophic, like totally blows his knee up.
I don't say that.
Or gets hit by a bus, right? This will pay for future value that he deems himself, which is probably in the $30 to $35 million range if we go by the Eric Kendricks contract as a base figure. So, do you believe that's actually the case? Or do you believe he's back in town practicing because, speaking of Eric Kendricks, his brother just came for a visit?
Right. I'm not worried about Barr. I mean, I've heard this guy's had a lot of storylines chasing him the last 5 or 6 months. I've heard from different people have different opinions, as like everything else in football, but I've heard he's going to be moved, to be traded about the draft somewhere around that time. I mean, there's more storylines involving this guy than anybody, but I don't think they move him because it creates a hole. What is it, 12 million he's going to get this year? I'm not worried about him being lazy. I mean, he's been here long enough. He knows Zimmer. He knows what Zimmer wants out of him. I think he works a new deal. I think we get it done.
Okay, and you think it's in the $30 to $35 million range? 5 years?
Yes, I think that's very accurate.
With about
maybe a little higher, maybe, but right around there. I would see that. He's one of the core guys. We got to have him here. So it just creates a hole. You know, I've heard people say, trade him, get a first-round pick, but then who knows what that's going to turn into? Why create a hole if we got a championship defense?
Gotcha.
This defense is set.
Well, and with Coach Zimmer wanting to experiment with the defense and possibly bring in more corners to play, what I would think would be good for Barr and why he wants to get paid, that's the other issue. He doesn't want to be paid as an outside linebacker in the 3-4. He wants to be paid as an outside linebacker more in the 4-3 mold where he's a pass rusher, because that's going to earn him a few more million a year. Well, I'd like to see him used as a pass rusher.
Sure.
Let's let Zimmer play on the back end. Let's have that extra DB in there and then put into that D-line rotation, Barr as a rusher from the outside that complements Griffin and complements Hunter, and see what sort of havoc that new tweaked Zimmer defense can do.
I totally agree. I mean, and having edge attached to his position does get him more money. I mean, edge rushers those guys are hard to send him. He's good in every facet of his game. He doesn't really. I don't think Barr has any weeks. I mean, takes plays off, but Richardson, everybody does in this league. I mean, everybody's not going full bore all the time. I think we can. Everything you just said is what needs to happen. I mean, we need to. I like the fact that Zimmer wants to experiment a little bit, and I think Holton Hill's going to be a big part of it. The undrafted guy out of Texas. I hear he's making waves at OTAs already. If he can stay clean, I think we can disguise a lot of things pulling him in, because it's going to open up the secondary a lot more.
Well, I do believe we got 2 good corners in the draft, which
sure
you can never have enough of, period.
Nope, that's what Bud Grant always used to say.
A good wife, a good dog, a good quarterback, not necessarily in that order, and as many cornerbacks as you can find.
And don't expect your O-lineman to be courteous.
Okay, I'm going to talk about something real quick. Speaking of defensive backs.
Yeah.
That we didn't prep for. The new kickoff rule is going to change the way kickoffs are played, right?
Shocking.
And schemed.
Another rule change. Oh.
Yeah, go figure.
I'm confused. What is the new kickoff rule?
Well, it's where there's no running start by the kicking team. There's the 15-yard no touch zone.
What?
Yeah, between the kicking team and the receiving team, where they can't basically touch each other unless the ball hits the ground first, right? If there's an onside kick, then all's fair in love and war. But they can't touch each other for this 15 yards type deal. And there's less guys back receiving. You'll have your main kickoff returner,
right?
But and then I think just another couple guys that are a little bit further up. But there's no more wedges when the receiver catches the ball. He's not going to be running behind a 2-man wedge. And back in our day, when we grew up, was everybody in the wedge.
That takes all the fun out of it.
Well, it's to reduce the injuries. The NFL has data that the kickoff is 5 times more likely to cause an injury, and especially when it comes to concussions, than any other play.
Right.
And they say where it happens the most is right there in that 10-yard gap of the old system, when the kicking team would get that running head start and the receiving team would set up for its blocks. It was right there at that initial point of contact where most of these injuries occurred. It wasn't the runner. It was right up there. So they're trying to make it more sort of like a punt.
Sure.
Where the kicking team gunners are going to be coming down and they'll be shadowed by the defensive guys pushing and pulling and all that stuff to try to get to the runner. Now, but what it should do, and this is why I'm getting to the defensive backs and why we may keep that extra one this year, is it makes those smaller guys that know how to tackle and are fast more important than putting linemen up there.
Right.
Because the linemen aren't going to be the ones blocking. It's going to be like on the punt return, the guys that lined up against the gunners that are hand checking and pushing all the way down the field. That's going to be more effective. That's what I anticipate. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's what I anticipate. And we'll see from Mike Prefer whether he does that or what his game plan is.
Till next year when it all changes again?
Yes, until next year when it all changes, and then we're 2 years out from eliminating the kickoff altogether, which I hope never, ever happens.
That's coming down the line. That's going to happen. So, I can see it happening already.
We shall see.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I mean, we're going to keep extra DBs on the. You got to have good depth there anyway. I mean, I'm still worried about it. I feel like we're a little thin, but we could have 16 corners on our team, and Drew would still think we're thin at corner. I'm just kind of paranoid about that. I'm paranoid about that position.
Well, one of the things we wanted to do with this podcast, since we titled it Good Morning Gjallarhorn, was talk on the lighter side of things. And I don't know if you saw yesterday, but Vikings Entertainment Network, Wabi in particular, put out a spelling bee on how to spell the word Gjallarhorn, which was pretty interesting because most everybody failed.
Right.
But we use it as our heritage here. Gjallarhorn comes from the Old Norse, and it means yelling horn.
Sure.
And comes
that's me right there.
Yes, and me too.
I'm a yelling horn.
So, but we got into it on the group yesterday and a little bit online on the proper pronunciation of Gjallarhorn.
I must have missed that. I didn't see any I must have missed that post.
Well, it was
is it Gjallarhorn?
Well, Gjallarhorn is the one that everybody's coming up with. Wabi called it Gjallarhorn. I've always called it Gjallarhorn. I believe the correct way is that you combine the G and the Y sound, which is the J, to Gjallarhorn. But we'll go with Gjallarhorn, the Americanized version thereof, from here on out. Just to clarify.
That's what I heard. You didn't say the G, you say Gjallarhorn, like Yaller.
But we'll go with Gjallarhorn because it matches with the G in the front of Good Morning Gjallarhorn. So
it's all good. It's all good, G. I like that. Gjallarhorn.
Now, also this week, there was something we discussed that I found absolutely interesting. As you know, I do graphics and artwork, right? That's part of my hobby.
Artwork. You do good.
But there was a story that was brought up about the original Viking uniform design and who did it.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't know the full history until I read about it. But there's an individual out of Los Angeles at the time. He was a sports cartoonist named Carl Hubenthal.
That is good knowledge right there.
He was good friends with the original Vikings
Burt Road.
Yep. And he was asked to design a logo and a uniform. And if anybody knows him, they know him because he designed the Norseman head, right?
Oh,
the logo that we've used.
Forever,
but he also came out that he designed a uniform. Now, those of you that are watching the YouTube side of this, because we're going to do a simultaneous broadcast, both podcast and YouTube, you will see the picture of that Carl Hubenthal designed uniform. And it's pretty interesting. I think Nike of today would be pretty challenged to meet something that good.
Really?
Yeah, I thought so. There's two elements that are different from the traditional original Viking uniform that you and I grew up with.
The socks are different. I know that. They have the
socks. It is the least liked thing about me, and we're definitely canned straight from the get-go. For those that are listening, the socks came up and they were half white, half purple. But on the upper half that was purple, they had white stripes that simulated straps. They were straps that would hold on a sandal or straps that would hold on a muckluck of a true Viking warrior back in the day.
Oh, okay. Now I follow what. Now I know what Hubenthal was doing, or Hubenthal, or yeah.
Yep. And that was canned right off. And it does look a little goofy. I can understand the thought process behind it, but it did look a little goofy. Now, the other thing that I really do like, and that what a lot of people did, but they didn't incorporate at the time, was the stripes on the sleeve.
Yes.
The stripes on the sleeve being parallel to the ground, but on the outer part of the sleeve, the center of the arm, they made a V shape downward, sort of like a chevron you'd see in a military symbol, military rank. And I thought that was unique, and I thought it looked sharp, absolutely sharp. And if anything, Nike might want to do is do a throwback uniform with that. What would you think seeing that?
They only throw us back to like 75, 76. That's all I've ever seen, which is this around the era of my favorites besides 67 that I really think I would love to see us wear the whole season. But yeah, the one you were mentioning, if they throw it back to that'd be kind of interesting. I wouldn't mind that at all. But the good thing about the Vikings is that the logo and everything and the colors have not really changed. I like that about the old school teams.
Do you know who suggested the colors of purple and gold?
Same guy, wasn't it?
Yep, same guy, Carl Hubenthal. Yes. And it was purple for royalty, and I don't remember what the gold was.
We're the color of royalty.
And he took it because he was an alumni of Washington University.
Man, that is really good knowledge right there. But the fact that we haven't changed a lot over the years is what I like. I like that with all the old school teams, like the Steelers. They still have the one logo on one side. I don't like change. I don't like changing my football, Dave.
Yeah, I agree. Change is good if it's changing for winning more. So
I love those. I love the 75 unis though. Those are something else.
They were sharp. I agree with you. They were sharp. So for those that you are watching, you'll get to see this on the YouTube. For those that are listening, we will include the links below when Jason Brown of Climbing the Pocket podcast will post it, and so you'll all be able to check it out.
By the way, Jason Brown does a hell of a job with Climbing the Pocket.
He sure does.
Really good show. One of the only ones I can listen to. And you get bombarded by shows, but that you got certain ones in your file with a gold star by them. That's one for me.
Oh, I agree with you. And they're a bunch of younger guys than us. The next generation, I think they're doing a fantastic job to carry the torch of Viking fandom and talking about it and going further than we ever did.
We're fading out, bro.
Yeah. But that's all right. Nothing wrong with that. We're enjoying
we got to get that championship. It's all about getting that one for now.
One before we die. I agree with you.
People say, hey, Drew, you want to be a dynasty? No, I just want to win one. All right. Can we just win one?
Anyways, I see your birds are telling us it's time to go.
Yep, they're squawking a little bit, but wow, this is really cool. Thanks for having me as part of this whole deal. I'm really excited about it.
Well, I think this is going to be fun, and we're going to try to do more and more. We're going to start out with once a week and see how that goes, and hopefully get to almost daily. And you can look forward to different guests. We'll have Jason on at some point in time, and
yes,
some of the other guys from Climbing the Pocket, as well as other friends across the blogosphere, whether it be a Daily Norseman or Purple PTSD or any of the other groups.
Get them all in line. Get them all on here.
Yep. So we can talk Vikings football and have a good time. So
big season coming up, man.
Absolutely. As you start your Sunday, enjoy the show, enjoy your day.
Meow.
Think about the season is only how many days away?
99. Well, tomorrow will be 98.
98. Absolutely.
Once you're under 100, man, the fever is on.
The fever is on. For me and for Drew, it's time to say
bye-bye.
Skål, everyone. can find me, David Stefano, on Twitter at Luft_Krieger. That's LUFT_KRIGARE. Also, you can find Climbing the Pocket at Climb_the Pocket. Music today is stylish, powerful energy rock, licensed under Audio Jungle. Thank you from Good Morning Gjallarhorn and Skull.